Welcome back to Live on the 802. I'm here with Joanne Bourbeau, Northeastern Regional Director of the Humane Society of the United States, as well as the chair of the Windham Disaster Animal Response Team. And today we also have Gail with us with her furry friends.
Hi there.
Sandy and Smokey.
Sandy and Smokey, yes.
So Joanne, today we're going to talk a little bit about preparing our pets for disaster.
Yes.
So tell us about your program and what the Windham County Humane Society is doing to help us with that.
Well, the Windham Disaster Animal Response Team is a regional team of the Vermont Disaster Animal Response Team, which is statewide. So we cover the communities here in Windham County, and we help care for animals when they're in distress, whether if there's an emergency, or sometimes we've had an emergency shelter set up as a warming center for people. We want to make sure that pets are able to stay warm as well in the wintertime when we lose electricity, or God forbid if there's a natural disaster, we can assist with rescuing animals and hopefully sheltering them until they can be reunited with their owners.
Yeah, all very important things to keep in mind.
Mm-hmm.
So today you brought some interesting items, and we've been talking a little bit about go kits and the types of items you should have on hand, whether you have a dog or a cat. So today you have dog-related essentials for preparing for a disaster. So tell us about that.
And I have my little my models here too.
Yes.
So what you want to have really essentially is enough supplies to be able to leave with your animal for at least 3 days, so 72 hours. And your disaster supply kit is going to be dependent on your animal and what their needs are. You want the essentials, obviously. We have bowls for water and food. Make sure that we have supplies of water and whatever food your pet eats that you're rotating every 3 months in and out of your disaster kit so that it's always fresh. We want to make sure that our animals are always have a collar and a tag on. These guys are complying. They have their rabies tag. They're also microchipped. So they have a little chip that is implanted in between their shoulder blades that we can read with a scanner when they come in. If they came in as a stray animal, we'd be able to find out who their owner was and connect them back to Gail. So that's a very important thing to have as well. Toys, obviously, whatever toys your pup likes. We recommend bringing some dogs love squeaky toys. Some dogs just want something to chew on, like the Nylabones. Other dogs like stuffed animals. So it really is whatever is going to comfort your animal. Lots of blankets. I have a blanket in my kit that's ready to go. Pee pads are also a great thing to have for the bottom of crates, so that if you have to leave with your animal, you can line it with a pee pad and not have to worry about them, soiling themselves while they get to the emergency shelter. And obviously also important would be a first aid kit. So there are lots of resources out there where you can buy a first aid book, or we have a list of supplies on our website, vermontdart.org, where you can find a list of pet first aid supplies that you should have for your animals. So you can buy them already prepared, or you can supplement with what you need. Some of the things that we have in here are, bandaging equipment, alcohol, petroleum jelly. All the list can go on and on. Thermometer. So it's really nice to have a first aid kit as part of your go kit as well. And I mentioned having like hand sanitizer and things to clean, having paper towels. Again, there are many lists where you can pull up and go to our website and find out what would be a good start for a disaster kit. But thinking, if you're going to be somewhere with your animal for the next 72 hours, maybe even a week, what would you need to have with you?
Yes.
The other important thing is to have vaccination records as part of your kit, or copies of your vaccination records, copies of your rabies certificate for your animals. If they're a species like dogs and cats are required by law to have rabies vaccine, so you should have a copy of their rabies certificate. If you have copies of other vaccinations that they have, it's great to have those as well, just so that we at the shelter can manage for those things. If your animal is on a special kind of medication, it's also important that you have extra stores of that are ready to go, either in your go kit or close by, that it can just be simply thrown in there as you're leaving. If your animal needs, could be diabetic and needs insulin every day. So those are things that we're going to want to know in an emergency shelter when you bring your pet in, so that we can take care of their needs. So typically, we're working either in a Red Cross shelter, which is a regional shelter where people are being housed separately from where their pets are being housed, and we can help care for them and supplement with the owners. So if Gail's dogs, gosh forbid she had to leave her home, She's going to bring her dogs with her, of course, because they're part of her family. Long gone are the days when emergency managers would tell people, "Oh, just leave your animals in a
And that's such a great
bathroom."
point.
Yeah,
Yes.
with food and water, and they'll be fine. So of course we thought, well, we'll be fine in the bathroom with food and water too, right? We've seen time and time again, people will not leave their animals in a time of crisis, and in fact, they're even more connected to their animals. And I've seen people risk their lives for an animal that they have never even met before.
They're like your children.
They are like our children, and Vermont has the largest per capita rate of pet ownership in the country.
Wow.
So we know that there will most likely be an animal associated, whether it's a dog, a cat, an iguana, a horse, whatever it might be, that we can be prepared to make sure that pet owners have the supplies that they need to take care of themselves so that we don't have to go rescue them after the fact.
Such great information, Joanne. Thank you so much for being here today and sharing this with us. Gets everybody thinking about what we can do to prepare for disaster should it strike. And Gail, thank you too for being here with your wonderful furry friends. We appreciate it.
Thanks,
so again,
Becky.
Joanne, what are the best websites for folks to go to get more information?
Go to vermontdart.org and you can get information about pet planning. We have lists and lists. This is a good example. I'm sitting on it right now. There goes Smokey. Where we have some lists of just checklists of the supplies that you should have if you got depending on the species.
Perfect.
So vermontdart.org is a great resource for all this information. We also have lists of pet-friendly hotels and motels, along with contacts for the closest regional team to where you live. So we hope people will take advantage of those resources.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much again for being here. We'll be right back live on the 802.